major developments in New York City mayor's race since we last met. Andrew Cuomo did not move to take his name off the ballot, so he'll be on the ballot. Whether he'll run or not is still an open question. The business community is flirting with Mayor Adams to maybe support him, but there are plenty of people there who worry. There's a new poll out that shows it might give Andrew Cuomo cause to say he could run and win in a 3 or 4 or 5-way race. And there continues to be, and I predict there'll be a lot more, resurfacing of things that Mr. Mamdani has said in the past that people won't like. There are a lot of moderate Democrats like Peter Orszag and Bill Daley, who has an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal saying this is an absolute nightmare for the party. Everybody needs to repudiate. And lastly, I'll say Mamdani is already started, and he's going to do more. He's moderating his positions. And if he chooses a respectable police commissioner, maybe he'll announce that even before Election Day. People can say he's a dangerous socialist, but he's a Democratic nominee. And we still have Jerry Nadler and Bill Clinton, not alone, but separate from a lot of other Democrats, coming in full-throated support. Dan, where are we headed in this? Are you still saying Mamdani's chances of winning are only 60%?
Yes, I am, because look, as you guys both know, when you win a primary, you get the big mo. Usually you have a big bump in the polls. I think the fact that the poll, I think it was like 38, Mamdani and Cuomo tied, and then Eric Adams had like 10, 13 points. You take the Adams and the Cuomo voters, they're way ahead. And so I think those two are more likely to be, to go to each other. So now the question, I think, is, can you get, does Cuomo say, hey, now the business community, institutional folks, you need to get Adams to back down? Or do they turn around and say, Andrew, like, you're too, which scar tissue is worse here? So I agree with you. The race, I said this earlier in the week, the race for Mamdani is, can he moderate enough in time and fast enough before these other side, gets organized? But I think that poll is not good news for him.
Horrible news for him. Sean.
Yep. I honestly, and I'm please take this with the tone it's supposed to come across, but I feel like a bunch of consultants got together last night and said, God, we got to keep Cuomo in the race because we don't know how else we're going to make money this summer. And it was something like, hey, Governor, you only got your ass kicked. We have a whole lot of rest of you that can get kicked. Stay in the race. I mean, I just don't understand how embarrassing this has got to be for Cuomo to make a comeback for mayor after being attorney general and governor, losing to this guy by a lot, and then saying, hey, you should stay in the race. I find it absolutely embarrassing. Yep. And it also just shows to me that he's got nothing else going. That he can't even do the Gavin Newsom podcast at this point.
I agree with you, except for one point. Being mayor of New York is a bigger job than being governor of New York.
Oh, no, fine, fair enough. But what I'm saying is you had risen to the top.
I agree with everything.
Well, but the only thing though is it's a late June. It was a late June primary, right? Turnout was about 800,000 out of 8 million residents, right? So I think part of this, Sean, is, okay, you're right. He lost decisively. It was humiliating for him. But if you step back and you look at the broader electorate and you say, all right, we didn't really run a thorough opposition research and kind of air it out to everybody. Hey, you know what? Like, there's two ways to look at it. It could get worse, or it can't get any worse.
On paper, Dan, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There's a coalition of Black voters, independents, Republicans, all of whom will vote in the general, Latinos. Absolutely. But the missing piece is he'd have to run a different kind of campaign. He'd have to be aggressive. And there's no evidence he can or will do that.
Well, and by the way, Black voters, you'd have to take out Eric Adams. So now you have a problem. Like, how do you square that? And that's where I think the outside is going to sit down and say, want to use out.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.